Blog Talk Radio.
Hello and welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Tonight is our 449th Blog Talk Radio show. You can find us here on Blog Talk Radio along with all our other interviews and all our other shows. You can also find us at Twitter at Diva of DOOL, and we're also on Facebook at Diva of Days of Our Lives. You can also find us on iTunes. And I'm Marianne, and you can find me at Mama_Hooch. And we have Jen with us tonight. Hi, Jen.
Hi, I'm at REXJDK at Twitter.
And I think we have Anna with us. Hi, Anna.
Hello. Hey, Anna.
Hello.
Yay.
Hello. I'm at CosbyHooch on Twitter.
Okay. All right. And you can also find our friends at Bob Hapka and at Amy Hapka on Twitter. And you can also find at Lauren Koslow, at Teo Penglis, and at Kill Trip USA, who is Ian Buchanan. We're also the Diva, who is busy with work, and she won't be able to make it tonight. And you can also find her at Diva of DOOL. That's Carrie on Twitter. So, does anybody see the show this past week, or some of it, or part of it?
I'm so proud of myself. I watched the entire week. Probably the first
Oh,
time
wow.
in months that I've watched the entire week before the
What
podcast.
date is this? We're going to mark this on the calendar here.
I think that I should get Diva Employee of the Month calendar.
I think you should.
Something.
Don't you think?
Yes.
It's unanimous, isn't it? Okay, all right.
The whole entire
week,
every show.
That's right. Oh, yes. I
very
actually
good.
enjoyed it. I will say I enjoyed a great bit of it.
Yeah.
Even if there's some storylines that But anyway,
Actually,
so put me down for the whole week.
Yeah.
So Jen,
okay,
did you
very
get a
good.
Huh?
How about you, Jen?
I saw the whole week.
All right.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I just watched Friday's show today, so yeah, I got caught up too. So yeah, I watched the whole week too. So it was I think it's I don't know, I think I had mentioned it to Anna and Carrie that this time with Ava back, it's kind of liking Ava.
Yeah.
Like she's coming
Even
off
though
as
she's
like
still evil. But yeah.
She's still evil, and we know she's up.
But
yeah, we know she's up to no good. But Kayla's coming off as the bitch.
I've hated her less this time, yeah. It's
yeah.
actually
although
kind of
Ava can be a bitch, but, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's totally a bitch. but
yeah,
but
she is totally a bitch.
It's kind of juiced the story, I think, and so yeah, when we get to talking about the actual what happened, there was some interesting stuff. So I have to admit, as much as I can't stand her, I've enjoyed. I think the writing, the story's been good this time. I think, as far as I'm concerned. Jen, what were you going to say?
And Eve, yeah. Go ahead, Jen.
Yeah. I'm liking the Kate.
Oh, I'm loving the Kate. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the Kate. Yeah.
I'm loving having some Kate on like 3 days this week, I think. Yes,
I think it was on 4.
3 or 4, yeah.
Yeah, because they got her involved with a couple different characters now.
And she was involved with a lot of different scenes too, with different characters. So I was loving
different
that
characters,
too.
Right.
Yeah.
It wasn't just Jake, but it was Allie.
There have been some weeks when there wasn't even able to be a Kate report because she wasn't on. So I'm enjoying that.
Right.
Good call, Jen. Yep.
Yeah. So did you want to talk about Kate or the who she was in scenes with? And,
Sure.
Yeah. Oh,
Let's see. I don't know if I'll get it all in order, but she's been in bed with Jake a lot, which is fine. and the most recent time was this week. She and Jake were canoodling, whatever you want to call it. And in their twin bed in the garage with the dirty sheets that and they did decide they were going to sneak to the Salem Inn
apartment
next time. So good. Yeah. Well, he has a mansion, but they can't do it there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. But, that's a good point. Yeah. But anyway,
he has an apartment. That him and Gabby used to do it in, but I guess maybe.
True. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Maybe
but anyway,
he went someplace else.
But see, if they did that, then people couldn't walk in on them. I mean,
True.
It was funny at one point. He did say, "Yeah, probably would be a good idea to find another place or something like that because it's like everybody keeps walking in on him."
Yep.
So they had some good scenes, and he basically she even tried to give him another out, like, are you sure you're not rethinking the Gabby thing? If you are, I kind of understand. We need to talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, after last night, do you really think that I have any doubts about being with you? Kind of thing. So anyway, yes, and I'm enjoying all of that very much. And let's see. So, of course, who walked in on this time? Was it
Chad?
Let's see. Well, Gwen had already walked in. Oh, yes. That's right.
Chad.
Gwen and Gabby had already seen them, and then Chad actually has enough manners at least to knock on the door and yell at him and demand that he open the door. But he came in and assumed Gabby was over there. He says, "Well, I could tell." And of course, Kate runs and hides and eavesdrops on their conversation. And Chad is convinced that Gabby is over there with him, and he's like, "No, I let her go to Arizona. I told her to go ahead and go to Arizona. I wasn't following her, and I'm involved with somebody else, And so he's trying to figure out, like, okay, and so finally he keeps pushing. Chad keeps pushing him, so Jake finally lies and says Gwen, that he's back with Gwen, which, I don't know, we're all going to figure, Chad's going to figure that out pretty quickly. That's not. So Kate's, of course, listening to every word, going, "Oh, please don't out me." And, and Jake's kind of like, "I don't know why you care so much what Chad thinks." He's like, "Well, I'm like his mother." He's like, kind of like, "Oh, so?" But anyway, so she's like, "Well, do we need to revisit this thing?" Because basically she's like, if we can't work this out to where we keep it quiet, then we might need to just reconsider this whole thing that we're doing. And, of course, Jake doesn't want to lose the thing that they're doing, so he's like, "Okay, it's Gwen, I got back with Gwen." Okay, so Chad goes away for the time being, but Chad thinks he's actually screwing his wife, Abigail.
Yes.
So that's what he thinks. He thinks that Jake was lying, which he was lying, but he was lying about the wrong woman, a different woman. But Chad automatically jumps to that, and we can talk about that boring couple later if somebody wants to take that, but I don't really care about it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what for Chad? But anyway, so Kate and Jake had some cake. Diva Carey calls them cake, K-A-K-E. So I like that. Let them eat cake. Cake is yummy. Cake is yummy. Everyone loves cake, right? So cake was was pretty hot, and they also had some really great dialogue. Enjoyed it. Jen, so you said Kate was your favorite. Are you enjoying those two together? I mean, for however long it lasts.
I like them, but I also like him and Gwen.
Yeah, they were good together. Yeah. So anyway, let's see, and then Kate just can't catch a break, because then she's over at Julie's place or somewhere on the phone. Was it Julie's? So we're fake Jennifer's over there working on her laptop, and she overhears Kate, making a booty call with Jake, but she mistakenly thinks it's with
Jack.
I'm sorry, I always want to say like Matt. I want to say their real names. Jack, yeah. So she goes over and, like, pounces as soon as she gets off the phone and, like, I want to know which time meeting. And Kate's, you know, she doesn't say who she's meeting up with, but she's like, you know, and every time she tries to tell, you know, Jen, look, you know, you keep treating him this way. You know, yes, I know, I understand your feelings are hurt and everything, but you keep treating him the way you are, eventually he's going to find somebody else because he's going to move on, you know. And so, and she's like, and you know how much he loves you, how devoted he was to you. Yes, he made a mistake. Okay, whatever. You know. So Kate's always trying to defend him, you know, and everything. But so of course she denies. No, I'm not meeting up with with Jack. And but does Jen believe her? I don't think so. And then of course it doesn't help that Jack and Kate have scenes at the mansion later, and I kept thinking Jen was going to walk in. Maybe that's next week. I don't know. But is it next week maybe that she walks in on them talking or something?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
But it looked like it could be. And Jack was trying to be, like, he went in there, and as soon as Kate came in the living room, he was like, oh, I need to leave. And he's like, well, why? And she's like, look, we lived under the same roof for how many months now, and everything's been fine. He says, yes, but now that Jennifer knows, it was fine when I didn't, you know, she didn't have any idea, then I could just be normal, but now that she knows, and I've promised to do everything I can to get her back in my life and get right with her, I don't think it's a good idea for me to be, you know, hanging out with you, you know, drinking with you and being seen, you know, alone. I think you said alone. I don't think it's a good idea for me to be seen alone or to be alone with you. And so anyway, and I think she even say something like, I even told her today that she needed to get, you know, help me out. Wasn't there a scene where Kate tells Jack that she even stood up for him or something? And or am I imagining that? I can't remember, but.
Yeah, I know she told Jen that she's got to stop believing.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So anyway, and then let's see. So she had scenes with Jack, and then let's see. At another point, rape. We got some rape. I was so happy. That was so fun. And Marianne, I know how you feel about rape, but rape was hot back in the day. So I thought, wow, this is like old home week or old school week or whatever you call it. They're all coming back to roost. Now we just need Roman to walk through in a scene, and we'll be. And John, where's John been? No. But
you could just pick anybody, and you'd.
Okay, all right. Back it on up, girlfriend.
You could pick anyone, and it would work.
I didn't mean to go there. Okay, so back off with the Kate hate. No,
except for Chad.
So she walks in. She's been summoned to Rafe's office, who has now been officially named the new, you know, taking over again as the new commissioner, the old commissioner. And so he kind of talks with her, and he pulls her gun out in a bag, you know, an evidence bag, and he's like, well, he goes, do you recognize this? And she looks, and she goes, well, yeah, it's my gun. How did you get my gun? You know. So he has to tell her what Allie did and what happened, and she's like, okay, I guess I need to find a more secure location for it because, you know, the thing of it is the girl picked her lock, didn't she? I mean, or a combination or whatever. She got it. I mean, it was locked away. So anyway, so you know, they had some good scenes, and then she, you know, I'm trying to think how'd they leave that. I guess she got her gun back. She did get the gun back. And
Rafe didn't want to give it to her. He's like, I don't know if I should give it to you.
Right. Oh, that's right. Because when she described, you know, she's like, well, she goes, I'm glad she went after him or whatever. She goes, he deserves everything that's coming to him, you know. And and then Rafe, you're right. And Rafe's like, well, maybe I shouldn't give this back to you. And she's like, you know, come on, you know. So then let's see. So then she's at home. She's back at home, and she summons Allie over to the house to talk. And she puts the gun out on the table and is like, and Allie's probably thinking, oh crap. And so she confronts her about it, and we have a little lesson, you shouldn't have done this. But she says, I don't blame you for wanting to do it, but
you can't.
Yeah, and then she says, you could have thrown your whole life away. You should have let me take care of it. And she's like, Grandma. And so she says, no. She says, I am going to make this right. I am going to take care of this, and he is going to pay. Mm-hmm. And she's like, what are you going to do? Don't do. I don't want you to get in trouble. And she says, no, we're going to handle this the legal way. She said, we're going to handle this in a legal way, but what we're going to do is, do you know what civil court, civil, I don't know what terms you use. Action is, and she's like, kind of, and so Kate explains to her that she says there's a lower burden of proof. He won't go to jail, but she says we could possibly more easily get a conviction out of him because of the DNA test. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I thought of. Yeah,
that's exactly what the family did. Yeah.
Yeah. So we could. He could at least have to severely pay. Like, he doesn't have any money. He's having to live at his mom's house. But but at the same time, they could sue him, and he could. She says then if we win the case, then everyone will know that he is a rapist. It will put everyone else on notice for the rest of his life, and they'll follow him wherever he goes, and he'll have to compensate. And if he does continue on to, I don't know if he could even go to med school at that point, but whatever. If they would be able to get. She didn't say this part, but basically they could be a party to any future earnings. So she said you could have financial security for you and Henry, because she says, well, what do I get out of it? Well, what does this solve? He's not going to pay. So she explains all that. So I guess that's the plan for now. Whether they actually pursue that, I don't know, but sounds like that. And maybe that's where when they're having the court case, I can now envision a situation based on the last couple of scenes. I don't know if we want to jump to this or not, but when Tripp and Ava were talking at the end of the week, and he's like, Mom, I really didn't rape her. She's like, okay, come on, sit down. You've got to explain this to me. She says, but there's a DNA test. And she's like, well, Kayla is a wretch. She probably wants to send you down the river, so to speak. She wants. So she, of course, always paints Kayla in a bad light.
Yeah.
And Kayla's kind of been a brat this week, so kind of understand that one. But anyway, so let's see. So as they're talking, and then he said, I just wish I'd never gone to London or whatever to see to stay with my friend it was just that one fatal night over Christmas break last year. I wish I had never gone to see my friend overseas or whatever. And she's like, and the minute he said overseas, she kind of gives this look to the to the audience, like you kind of see this look on her face, like, wait a minute. So was it obvious to everybody else that, like,
yep,
thinking, that she says, wait, what? And he says, yeah, I was in London, and
she knows
her
what's
brain
going
is
on.
ticking. So she knows, and so at the very end of the show, she calls someone. It's not revealed who she calls, but we all know it's Charlie, right?
Yeah.
Like, basically,
it's
get your ass
Charlie.
over here as soon as you can.
Get your ass over here.
And I do think you're right about the glasses. I do think that could be because he was wearing them this week. Some.
Yeah.
I think you're right, Marianne. Weren't you the one that said something about that the glasses?
Yeah.
And I think
when Allie finally sees him, because Allie still hasn't seen him yet. So, but I think that's that's gonna trigger something. Is what I think.
Yeah, that's I think.
And so I think Charlie. Yeah. Like I think we discussed before, I think Ava's planted Charlie a Titan, and she.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He's been.
And she's playing.
He's been to keep an eye on Philip and Xander. So.
Right.
But I like the whole idea with Charlie being like the double, triple agent, where he thinks he's helping Xander, but then Philip thinks he's helping him, but then he's going to help Xander.
He's really helping
Ava.
He's not even helping anybody.
Yes.
I hear these two jokes.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, I like
he's
that.
watching both of them for her.
And Xander's like, you're really terrible. Or he's like, I'm really terrible at this or whatever. But so he's good at faking them out. So so Charlie's butt's in a sling, basically. So it should be interesting when, I don't know how long this is going to stretch out, but it did not take Ava long at all to add 2 and 2 together and go,
2 togetger.
Let's see it.
What's the DNA?
Charlie was over in London last Christmas break. And I always theorized that.
DNA matches.
And I've kind of theorized that either he had a crush on Allie already, or he had tried to hit on her at the bar or something, but he's just like his mother. He doesn't give up, because that's a trait that, she has, that she won't let go of Pat.
She's still after Steve.
And remember last week we watched that, we made that
worried
comment
about
that he had said to Claire that he usually takes things too far. He made some comment that was very generic, but if you were to look at it through this lens, you could go, okay, so he gets obsessive. So it could be, I even theorized early on, before we even knew about Charlie, that because she was so falling down drunk, like an hour after she saw Trip or whatever, I just thought maybe somebody drugged her drink or something too, because she's been beating herself up for getting so drunk. But she was so out of it, and it seemed like that happened awfully fast. I don't know, but who knows? Either way.
Probably Charlie followed them home. He probably followed Trip home,
and he was
watched him leave,
jealous.
and then went in.
He didn't know that was his brother, obviously, probably. But he probably was like, she's going home with this guy? Wow, that's just, crazy, So, so it was like, almost like he was going to make her pay for going home with him or something like that, maybe.
And I'm sure we'll get the whole... We'll get the whole backstory
so we're assuming,
sooner or later.
Yeah, we're assuming right now.
So I'm taking...
how they're both there. Yeah, go ahead.
Are we, like with Ava, did she know she had twins, or did she just find Charlie, too, all of a sudden? Obviously.
Well, that's what I'm
somehow
thinking.
we have to find out how she found Charlie. Yeah, because
I
don't
think
she know she had twins, or did she just find out?
I think she probably just found out somehow, like in the last year or two.
Just found
probably,
out. Right.
Yeah. Maybe not just found out, but like she may have just found out in the last couple of years or something. Yeah,
Okay. Because it was never mentioned before that she, it was just Trip, just one baby was taken from her. Yeah. Okay. That's what I couldn't remember if she said she had twins
or not.
Find out because
Trip
would know that. Yeah.
But obviously too, she must also know that Charlie has the same weakness that she does, because she was like, get your butt home right now, or get over here now.
Yep.
Like,
maybe,
or
maybe he's done it before, gotten in trouble before.
She's had
maybe
to bail
she tried
to bail him out or something. Yeah, exactly. So there's that. And of course, is it going to be before or after he rapes Claire, and messes her up again?
Or he's going to try. Yes.
Yeah, or try to, And then, so there's all that going on. And let's see, Kate, who else was Kate? I'm trying to think who else. Kate. By the way, I loved her pantsuit at the end of the week, too. It's like amazing. She looks great and everything. I'm trying to think. It seemed like, was she in other scenes? I'm trying to think. Who else.
How come she gets all the cool clothes?
I know, I love it. She just always like.
I think she was in with scenes with Jen and Rafe and Allie and Jake. And, so she was in 3 or 4 different scenes with different people. Yeah.
So that's the Kate report. It was long this time.
Yeah. So well, that's good that she's getting into a lot of scenes, because she's kind of connected to all these different people now. So.
Well, she's always, and it's like they never write enough for her when she can't. She does have all these relationships, and so
So, and then getting back to like the whole Ava, Trip, Kayla, Steve. Kayla's kicking, Trip out, and Ava's trying to get Trip to see that, and Trip still kind of is like backing Kayla, but Kayla going after Ava. But it's kind of like you kind of gotta mark Ava for like sticking up for her son. That's one thing you can give her, and it's just like you can't wait for Kayla to find out that she was wrong, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, kind of like, you know, an Ava at this point. And another thing with Ava is Xander and Sarah.
Oh.
Sarah finally figures it out because she went to talk to Xander, and Xander's on the computer, and now it's out that, you know, Ava's alive. Everybody knows Ava's alive now. And he says, oh, my God, Ava Vitale's alive. And he shows her the picture, and she says, that's that Angela. That's that Angela Vandekamp. And he's like, you know. So now he knows. Now I guess they're going to try, you know, they're trying to get Philip. So now they're going to know Philip's involved with Ava. So now they'll know he really is up to something, but they don't quite know what. And so now Philip, Sarah's trying to get close to Philip, make him believe that she broke up with Xander. Yes, that they're just friends. And now Philip is saying, to really make Xander mad, let's pretend that we're having an affair and let's pretend we're involved. So I guess she's going to tell Xander that, but I don't know if she hasn't got that far yet, though. So that's interesting there. Yeah. Ouch. What else do we have here? What do you think about, Jen, what do you think about Gwen and how she's trying to manipulate Jennifer and Jack?
It's too easy.
Yeah, is she that smart? But are they that dumb?
They're that dumb.
They're that dumb. Yeah, she's trying to turn them against each other. She's getting Jen to the things that she's telling Jen, you know, to think that, you know, Jack is still with Kate. She's putting doubts in her mind. So she's trying to, and also she's trying to convince Chad that Abby and Jake are having an affair too. So I don't know. Okay. Oh, and we were getting back to Chad and Abby. I guess he accused her of having an affair, and she more or less kind of set him straight. So I don't know. Those two. Let's see. Jake. Oh, let's see. What do you think? Bonnie and Justin.
They are so cute.
Another surprise for me, I have to admit. I'll let somebody else do the story part of it. But I have to say, I am absolutely loving Bonnie this time around.
Yeah, she's
and
really
I'm dreading it.
She's kind of
not because I don't.
She's kind of mellowed a little bit.
Not because I don't love Judy, but because I was glad to see Judy back. But I was dreading Bonnie because I was like, oh, she's, ooh, you know, just what. But you know what?
She's not as wild.
It's been great.
Yeah, she toned her down to not be quite like Adrian, but a little softer than Bonnie. Yeah, you know, not like Adrian, but not as crazy as Bonnie. She's trying to, you know, tone it down a little bit as Bonnie, I guess, but she still's got that streak to her. But and so she wanted to go out, and Justin she finally convinces Justin, you know, he's going to take her out. So
but
she's waiting for him. Of course, she's talking to Jen. Yeah, finally. So in the meantime, Kayla comes to, you know, because of the whole Joey deal. We have to go into that, the whole Joey-Ava deal. And so, of course, he doesn't think to text her and say, I'm going to be late. I mean, how easy? Come on. I know it's for the plot, but how easy is it to say, hey, something's come up. Well, nothing. So, of course, he's late. And then he comes in and says that, you know, Kayla came by, and she jumps to the conclusion right away of, oh, you were with Kayla. So in the meantime, she calls her guy friend. O'Hare. Oh, okay. And then so she jumps, and then so she calls that other guy, and then they go off together. And Justin's like, "What? What just? What just happened?" Yeah. So, but I'm thinking they're going to get back together. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Things are, because I heard a preview that Maggie and Victor aren't too happy when she shows up at Christmas time with Justin
Mhm.
at the mansion. So that should be interesting.
That'll be a hoot.
Yeah, but it makes it nice that Judy is back because Judy and Wally have that chemistry. So
definitely
that makes it good. Yeah. But the whole thing with Ava and Trip, the whole thing was Ava said that she would drop because she says, well, no, I'm not dead, and Joey isn't convicted of murder, but he could be convicted of attempted murder because he did try to kill me. So he could still stay in jail. So she said, if you drop the charges against me kidnapping you, then I won't press charges against Joey. Yeah. So, did anybody see Joey? Is Joey as bad as he was? Oh my God. Was there any emotion in that?
Nope.
This is a kid that's been in jail and he's getting released, and he should be saying he should be jumping up and down or
he should
yelling
be
or crying or nothing.
Yeah.
There was nothing.
I have to say,
and I'm
cute. He's just
he went
dumb.
to the school of Rafe.
He's dumb as a rock.
And you would have thought 4 years in prison he could have at least taken a few acting classes while he was there. Like they have a library there,
Why did they
sure
go back to
YouTube.
him? They couldn't find anyone else?
I mean, I have to admit he
obviously
cute, but
he knows somebody.
I was thinking though that he reminded me of just how horrendous the storyline he was in with that girl and the whole thing. That was right up there with hide a dead rapist in the water heater caliber storyline. That summer storyline was, oh my gosh, it was awful. It was cringeworthy. Not that that's his fault, but he always played Joey so dumb though. None of us could understand how that could be Patch and Kayla's kid.
I know. Or Stephanie for that matter.
Exactly.
He was dumb as a rock
You can
too.
understand how Trip is Steve's. You can understand Steve and Trip seemed like they could be father and son, but not Joey. Well, I don't know. Anyway, I have to say, Carrie was the one that brought that up, Diva Carrie. So about he's as dumb as ever, and so whatever. So we had to talk about that. She said about bringing that up. So we brought it up. So,
she wanted to bring that up.
I mean, you couldn't help but notice something. Oh my God, he's just as bad as he was when he left. And I guess it has been 4 years. So too early. So I guess he's getting out. So now, how much of a storyline he's going to have when he comes out? I guess there would be conflict with Trip, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or if they would pair him with somebody. I'm not sure who.
I'm trying to think if Claire's related to him.
Yeah, you have to stop and think. Is Claire related to him?
Wait.
Yeah. Yeah, are they cousins? Or through Kayla.
Sean
Kayla and
Douglas
Sammy.
is Kayla's nephew.
Right. And
Claire is Sean's daughter.
Sammy.
So.
Oh, Claire. So that's true. Yeah, because Bo and Kayla, brother and sister.
Yeah.
So they are. They're cousins. It's not Claire. And then he's related through Allie too, right? Through Sammy.
Yep.
And Kayla.
That's true.
Yeah. There's that. There's no Allie.
Gwen.
Yeah. I don't know. Isn't that terrible? It is funny, though, on Salem, you have to stop and think, like, who's related to who. And they did bring up these different jokes about this baby switching in District Salem, switching babies, switching DNA. Mm-hmm. All right. Anything else this week?
What do you guys think of Linda Dano as Vivian?
Oh yeah, I saw that came out this week.
I love Linda Vano when she's on Another World. I loved her.
Yeah.
I think of her as
But
Vivian,
I don't know.
though.
I'm like, gosh, I wonder why it wasn't available to come back or didn't want to come back again. I don't know.
I don't think
That's
Louise wants to come back.
I would have taken
It's too hard.
back.
Louise is in New York. I think it's hard for her to come back.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay.
And she didn't want to, yeah. But
I mean, I'm excited to see
even the other
Vano
one
on screen.
Yeah.
But
I loved Robin Strouser in it.
No, I don't know. I
can't see her as a villain. I mean, I just remember her as a nicer person. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe she'd be
Linda,
good as a Vivian.
Well, she had a talk show. Remember? Do you guys remember
Yep,
that? She had a talk
I remember
show.
that.
I can't remember who was the other.
I just remember on Another World.
It was on like Lifetime or something back in the 90s. Maybe?
Oh,
she was on General Hospital too.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess it'll be fun to see how she plays her. I'm looking forward to seeing her. I just was kind of shocked that it was for Vivian, but hey, you know.
Yeah. She was involved with Alan Quartermain at one time.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, Sky is Alan and her daughter.
Oh, I never knew that. Okay.
Yep.
Huh. Never knew that she had been on GH. We didn't mention Nicole. Of course, Nicole was in several scenes, but she did run into Rafe at the end when Rafe was leaving the place, and that kind of bears out what we had heard or thought maybe that they might be pushing those two together. But they were so happy to see each other. But I have to get in a mention of the wardrobe that she was wearing, the unfortunate wardrobe choice from the beginning of the week that carried over from the prior week. I forgot to mention it last week.
I mean the dress?
I don't know if that's like grandma's 1970s curtains. I'm not sure, but I did not like it. Yes, a really bad curtain. The green with the flower. I don't know.
With the flowers. Okay.
Yes. It didn't look good on her. I didn't think. I thought it was. But who am I? I'm not a fashion diva. But I don't know. Didn't like it. Jen, you weren't fond of it either, were you?
Oh my God, that thing was ugly.
No, that was ugly. The form-fitting dress. She wears anything well, but the style or the color, with too many flowers or something on it.
Yeah.
Oh. And they need to dress Allie better. Oh, please.
Yeah.
She wears that big old bulky sweater. She's not pregnant anymore, girl. I mean,
Well, and
I don't know.
Kind of like they're dressing her kind of like a poor teenager or something. I don't know. I mean, no, she shouldn't look like she's on
she looks like a teenager. She looks like she's 17.
Yeah.
Now they should
not
have
23.
written her 17. They should have written her to be 17. That would have been a better story too.
Well, that would have made sense.
Yeah. And I like
they made her like out of college.
She's done a good job. But she did mention, the actress did mention in one of the things that I've seen, I think she said she'd love to have, if she could play any other character, it'd be Kate or something, or she loved Kate Porter or something. She made some comment about that. And I thought, if you're Kate's granddaughter, don't you think Kate would pull her aside and go, honey, that sweater is like a grandma sweater. Even a grandma that I wouldn't even wear sweater. I mean, it just kind of makes her look plain and dowdy when she's really a cute girl. And I guess that's by design because they do the same thing with Gwen. Gwen's wardrobe is usually atrocious, but I think they did that on purpose because she's,
then they have her
really
wear pigtails. She puts her hair in pigtails or like the braids and stuff. So they're making her look younger. So they should have just made her younger. For the whole Sammy
thing,
It should have
been like 14 or 15.
Yeah, or at least
but did you
17.
Did you see how quickly
at the highest?
Quickly they got her off the hook from trying to shoot Trip. They quickly got her off the hook from shooting. Rafe, Trask. All of a sudden, Trask. Oh, Kate put it this way. She finally found a little piece of heart or something, and dropped the charges. I don't know, because Rafe didn't even arrest her. They got Rafe involved. Of course. I don't know if he had any clout in it or not. But anyway, so they didn't even more or less do anything to her. So
my question is, the one honest cop there, well, besides Sean, is Eli. And he doesn't even get a chance at the commissioner's job. They give it back to Rafe.
He gave it back to Rafe. Yeah.
Good point.
I thought maybe
good
they'd
point.
ask.
And he's you know, honestly, Eli seems
Rafe
the only
left
one
town.
with ethics either.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. And Eli used to be
Not
Eli
Rafe.
is former FBI as well. So
Yes.
it's not just Rafe.
Right.
So
He was
I agree.
FBI,
That's a very good point. Very good point.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of Lonnie and Eli, were they on? They weren't even on this week, were they?
Abe was talking about them.
Talking about them, yeah, but nothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
How he's in the doghouse with Lonnie too.
Oh yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah. Oh, and then we have you said about Linda Dano coming on as Jack A.
Vivian.
Barry coming on.
Yeah, Jack A. is coming on too.
Jack A. Yeah. I think it's a new character, so how
cool.
she'll be involved
that should be
or not.
fun.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Valerie's coming back for the birth of the twins.
Okay.
I saw that. And that's probably just for so long, I would think. I don't know. And, of course, Chloe's back. I don't know. Was much Chloe on this week? Was just her and
She
Philip?
was on with Philip,
Her and Philip were talking about, in the park there, talking about the past and the last blast and all that jazz and Brady. And so I don't know. They'll be trying to get those two back together again. We didn't have any Victor, did we? No Maggie, no Victor. Gwen and Jennifer and Jack.
Yep. And who else? Abe was on. And Roman, we got a Roman scene.
Oh, that's right. Did you want to talk about the Roman? Who was Roman with? Is that the beginning of the week? Oh, him and
Roman
Abe.
and Abe. They were discussing Lonnie and Eli and Allie and Trip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When I did see something in Soap Opera Digest. I don't know all of them, but they had out there, for the year. And I think this was all the soaps. Like they said, like best new character, and I think it was Allie.
Oh wow!
Best new character, and and something about worst exit was Hope.
Yep.
The worst exit. I said favorite or best couple was Steve and Kayla. I mean, and then something the most tortured couple, Ben and Sierra. That was from Days, I think. There was a couple Days got a couple other different things. I can't remember them all. I meant to write them down, but I forgot. No. But they had all different categories of things.
Cool.
Yeah. And then we have the return of Tony and Anna this week. I think it's Friday. Yeah. Next week, this Friday coming. Yes, Tony and Anna. There's a really good preview clip out there. It shows Tony and Anna. It shows Anna like tapping the couch like to Gwen, and it's like, let's talk. Gwen's looking at her like, uh-oh. As I said, uh-oh. Anna, I think Anna's on to her.
Yep, Anna can school her.
Yeah, and then we have a scene with Tony and Jake, because they haven't met yet, and he says, "Hi, bro," and Tony looks at him like, "Bro," or something like, how he says, "Hey, bro." So that should be interesting. Another brother dynamic there. And then Tony goes to see Kristen, so they reunite him and Kristen in jail. So should be interesting to have them back.
Any Anna and Roman scenes coming up?
I don't know. Didn't see any, but could be.
That'd be cute.
Yeah. I'd like to see some Tony and Kate scenes, but Tony and Kate always just wish they'd sneak Andre in there somehow. And Kate's still in the mansion. They still she's still Mrs. DeMira. She's still Andre's
widow.
She's not a widow. Who knows? Yeah. So maybe they'll have scenes together. I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know. Any other? Did you hear any other spoilers or anybody else coming back? That sounds like the Christmas show might be good. I don't know if they'll do anything with the Hortons. If it'll be over with their, with the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Or hanging the ornaments.
Up, but there's no ornaments on it. There's just lights on it now. So hopefully.
Oh, okay. So maybe they will have
put
something.
Them on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know. I think we covered just about. Is there any other storyline?
No, I think that's it.
Mainly that went on this week. Yeah.
And what day are Tony and Anna supposed to appear or begin to appear or have?
I think it's the 18th, which would be Friday.
Okay.
Friday.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it was supposed to be the 21st, but I think somehow it got bumped up because of the way something was probably something with the schedule. The original was supposed to be 21st, but I think now they're saying it's the 18th, Friday. So
okay, cool. That works.
And I think then they'll go into the following week because there's a couple. They have more than one show, so
that's
maybe 3 or 4, something like that.
They better.
Yeah,
they better be permanent.
They need to stay in the match. There could be so many good stories if they could be just a permanent thing in there.
The one-liners.
Yeah.
The one-liners. Kate and Anna bump into each other. The whole bit.
Yes, and Kate and and Jake and Tony and Chad and the whole Gwen and Anna. It could be really good. And if Gabby came in to the picture too, just all that would be good. Oh well.
Oh well.
All
right, ladies.
All right.
Yep.
All right, everyone. Have a nice rest of the weekend.
Have a good rest of the weekend. Take care. Be safe, everybody. Be well.
You too. Be safe.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night. Bye.
It can get lonely climbing Mount McKinley, so to entertain myself, I go to ChumbaCasino.com. At Chumba Casino, I can play hundreds of online casino-style games for free, like online slots, bingo, Slingo, and more. Plus, I get a daily login bonus. It's just too bad that up here, I don't have anyone to share my excitement with. Woohoo! Woohoo!
Live the Chumba life. Anytime, anywhere. Play for free now at ChumbaCasino.com. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.